In a recent episode of his popular podcast, the Joe Budden Podcast, the host himself, Joe Budden, discussed the possibility of rotating his co-hosts on the show. Currently, there are 6 people who participate in the podcast each week, which can be quite a challenge for anyone trying to manage such a large group. Joe's proposed solution is to break up the current hosts into 2 or more groups and rotate them each podcast, since the podcast is bi-weekly.
Slaughterhouse Records. I don't think every Potter need to be at every pond. I don't. I'd like to see more of just switching it up. I'm going to be here, of course. I'm not going to leave. But yeah, I'd like to see it.
I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
I mean, I'd like to see more of you without Mel here. Yeah, I'd like to see you without Mel here. I'd like to see Mel here without you. She'd probably like it too.
His face.
No. I'm just mixing and matching. Everybody.
So
Not
you
parts.
feel like that? You feel like that?
Suddenly.
The only reason that we acting like this way and arguing is because Mel is here.
I know what the power of attractive women do.
No.
Yes. I believe in that.
That's not true.
I believe in that.
But you have to do your research. You have to do your research.
You think I haven't researched you?
One of the main reasons Joe is considering rotating his co-hosts is to make the podcast more manageable. With 6 people talking into the microphone each week, it can be difficult to maintain focus and keep the conversation flowing smoothly. By breaking up the group, Joe can ensure that each co-host has more time to speak and that the overall quality of the podcast improves. Another reason Joe is considering rotating his co-hosts is to keep the show fresh and interesting for his listeners. While the current group of co-hosts is undoubtedly talented and entertaining, there is always a risk of things getting stale if the same group of people are on the show week after week. By rotating the co-hosts, Joe can bring in new voices and perspectives, which can help keep the show engaging and exciting. One potential downside to rotating co-hosts is that it could disrupt the chemistry between the current hosts. After all, the current group has been working together for a while and has developed a rapport that is hard to replicate. By breaking up the group, Joe risks upsetting that delicate balance, which could hurt the quality of the podcast. Another potential issue with rotating co-hosts is that it could be difficult to schedule. With 6 people to coordinate, it can be challenging to find a time that works for everyone, especially if some co-hosts have other commitments or live in different time zones. Joe will need to carefully consider this issue and work with his co-hosts to find a scheduling solution that works for everyone. On the other hand, rotating co-hosts could also bring some benefits. For example, it could provide an opportunity for some of the co-hosts to take a break and recharge their batteries. Hosting a podcast can be exhausting work, and rotating the co-hosts could ensure that everyone gets a chance to rest and come back refreshed and ready to go. Ultimately, the interaction between Queen's Flip and Ray J was just one example of the types of interactions that can occur on social media. While it may have been entertaining for some viewers, it also raised important questions about social media etiquette and the dynamics at play in these types of interactions. In conclusion, the interaction between Queen's Flip and Ray J on their recent Instagram live stream was a lighthearted moment that quickly turned tense. While Queen's Flip was annoyed by the sound of Ray J's chewing, Ray J seemed to take pleasure in getting on Queen's Flip's nerves. The interaction highlighted important questions about social media etiquette and the power dynamics at play in these types of interactions. Ultimately, it was an entertaining moment that kept viewers engaged, but it also served as a reminder of the complexities of social media interactions.